Well, it's interesting how I met Ray Dennis Steckler. A friend of mine was a pit boss at one of the big casinos in Las Vegas. His name was Ron Kearns. He produced a film called Super Swingin' Playmates, Love Butcher, and Trip with the Teacher with a guy called Zalman King, who became quite prolific. Well, Ray was the cinematographer on the Trip with the Teacher movie. And Ron and him were friends, and Ray lived in Las Vegas. So I was talking to Ron, and I've been around the movie stuff and this and that. I said, hey, I want to do this documentary about Quest for Treasure. And he said, well, go see this guy, Ray Dennis Steckler. So I called up Ray, I made an appointment, I went and seen him, and I'm talking to him about my project, and the next thing I know, we're talking about his project. And we got along real well. We really had good chemistry, and he invited me to co-star in the Las Vegas Serial Killer, and I jumped at the opportunity. It was a very interesting movie to shoot. It was shot on 16 millimeter. It was shot completely MOS, motion without sound. It was two scenes, one where you see the killer stacks up the 3 bodies. That was the one scene shot with sync sound. And then the one party scene by the pool, there was sync sound. Other than that, it was all done on a sound transfer machine later, and all dialogue completely looped. Also, it was shot on a Bolex that you cranked. Very interesting, very cool. On the 2 different scenes we shot on 35 millimeter. Ray had complete, at that time, moviolas. And then he moved to the flatbeds, and he did all the editing. He did all the sound transfer. He sat and did all the looping and everything. And the amazing thing, there was never a script. As an actor, you didn't know what you were going to shoot that day. You just knew where you were going to be. Very interesting. And then he would go over the scene and what we were trying to get across, and then we would do it. And a lot of funny things, like one time we're downtown Fremont Street, and the star was Pierre Agostino, and there was a ton of traffic, bumper to bumper. And when Ray says go, Pierre just goes. He walked out in front of 10 cars. They were dodging him right and left, but when Ray said action, action. So those are just some of the little things. And Ray was very good at lighting. He was very good at editing. He was very good at shooting, and I learned a lot from him. Sometimes we would go in and we would take 2 walls and paint them. We would build the set, bring in the girl, kill the girl, and have everything wrapped in 4 hours and be ready to shoot the next thing. Another thing which went really interesting, when Ray was shooting the Las Vegas Serial Killer that I was co-starring in, he said, now you're going to star in the Las Vegas Slasher. He says, so as long as we got this actress here, he says, we're going to change her wardrobe, and after Pierre strangles her, you're going to slit her throat. He says, that way we get a twofer. So Ray would shoot in his head, with no script, 2 movies at the same time, and would pull it off. An amazing mind. Ray had a lot of friends, and we would always be getting favors, or someone owed Ray a favor. Like the day we shot with the sync sound and the 35 millimeter, that was actually in Hollywood, up in the hills in a beautiful home, but somebody owed Ray a favor, and they paid for everything. They had the sound man, the Niagara man, they had everything there, the actresses there, they paid, everything was paid for by them. They just said, okay, Ray, we owe you. So he knew a lot of people. Also, Ray started out shooting on the wide world of sports. A lot of people don't know that. That's how he was such an action photographer. He also was a photographer for the U.S. Army in Korea. He made his first film at probably, I think, 13 years old. So a lot of those things that I learned about him and we watched during the making of the serial killer. So I got to learn a lot more about the person, and over the years we became very close.
WQXQ has just learned that the Nevada Parole Board has approved the release of self-proclaimed serial killer Jonathan Click from the state prison at Jean.